life wild? Yes. Why do you say that, Danielle? Well, let me tell you. Hello, everyone out there. This is Danielle, and this is Hogan Life. I am your homeschooling mother of 7. I like to talk about everything mom-related. As moms, I do feel like we are struggling to get it all done. I'm not sure. There's just a lot of stuff in that it category. You know, as a mom, you have these like pet peeves when someone says,
I just don't have time for that. I just don't have time.
Yeah, we don't have time for anything, and we have time for everything. The things that are important, the things that we place value on, the things that we make time for, those are the things we have time for. We all have 24 hours in the day. But let's just face it. Some people get a lot more done in their 24 hours than others. I always say, if you want something done, ask a busy mom, because she knows how to juggle and she knows how to get stuff done. But it's true, we only have 24 hours and we have to have a priority list. My daughter is up in her first year of Bible school and she's just enjoying it so much, but she just gives me little tidbits of some of her classes, and she's taking a time management class. And she said just the other day, she's like, you have to keep your regular stuff regular. And I was like, oh, that's deep. What is it? What does it mean? And I just actually was giving this thought, like, what does this mean to me? If you are the keeper of the home, you have a lot of small tasks. You could call them menial. They are tasks that are not super interesting and they are endless. Now, there are tasks that I don't want them to become a big deal. I don't want to have to go the entire week and then take an entire day and do laundry, because that would take me longer than a day if I went an entire week. So my question to you is, what is the routine of your life? What is the routine of your day and the routine of your week? I think that this question merits a little bit of dialogue, maybe with yourself, and then a little bit of writing things down. Because I'm looking at the routine of our lives, I'm going to look at it in actually 3 categories, and one being the home routines, the keeping a home functional, and then 2, schooling routines, or let's call it kid routines. And then 3, I want to look at my own spirit, soul, and body, and the routines of my life that focus on being sure I'm nurtured in those areas. My boys are having their book club downstairs, so I have a house full of 8, 9, 10-year-olds. So if you hear pounding or laughing, it's them. It's a soundtrack of my life. Mentally, I think I compartmentalize in a weird way. I like to have my compartments, and then I have 3 things in each compartment because I can remember 3 things. 1, 2, 3. Now, of course, you can have as many as you want. This is what I do for myself, so I don't always have to be referring to my list. My keeping my household in order has to do with these 3 things. Now, there are more, but this kind of gives us categories. It's laundry. I do not ever want my laundry to get out of control, so I do 15 minutes a day. I start a load in the morning, and I only do that 1 load every day, and then I do 15 minutes of whatever I need to do, whether it be putting away clothes or folding clothes. It's just part of my system. You can watch one of my videos on laundry. Every person's system is different because you have a different amount of people, you have a different amount of desires and needs. Work a system that you've specially created for you. I get ideas from other people, but then I'm like, okay, what does it look like for me? And that's the system I work every day. I'm going to keep it regular. The next point in my homekeeping is going to be my morning routine. And this for me looks like a swish and swipe in the bathroom. So like 2 to 3 minutes of bathroom pickup, of making my bed, of course. And then just a quick pick up in my room. It means getting dressed to the shoes for me so that I'm ready for any eventuality. And on the days I make bread, it means starting my bread. And it also means getting my kids started on their chores. And a lot of these things in my morning routine, I'm bouncing back and forth. And I know I can't use the word multitasking anymore because men everywhere will say, that's not a real thing. No such thing as multitasking. And I'm like, that's fine. Call it whatever you want. All I know is moms are incredibly good at switching rapidly from one task to the next and then going back and forth. And often not forgetting the 7 tasks they're doing all at the same time. So call it whatever you want, but it's a superpower. So when I'm looking at the things I do for myself, spirit, soul, and body, just basic maintenance, I need to have some everyday things. And one of those things is reading my Bible and spending some time with the Lord. And sometimes it's not quiet, sometimes it's not alone, but I still have it. Oftentimes I do have a little quiet in the evenings. And this is a thing that I don't go a day without doing because I recognize it feeds me and keeps me going in a way that nothing else will. Now, God is real. And when he says that his grace is sufficient for us, it's true. And it's real that you can tap into his grace, his supernatural ability, in our regular ability, in our mothering, and in our housekeeping. And 2 more things is I read and I exercise. I know that anything extra sometimes seems like a lot. And so this year I have endeavored to find places I can read. And you start by just saying, I'm going to read 15 minutes a day. Even if you're not recollecting everything you read well, get in the habit of reading. It helps your mind. It helps establish a variety of interesting information. If you just can't find any quiet to read, grab something that they'll like as well as you. Treasure Island and read it out loud. Get in the habit of reading. I am not only in the habit of reading, but in the habit of reading probably more than an hour a day because I just find places where I can read a little bit. It's doable. You recognize that something is good for you and then you do it even when you don't feel like it. My 3rd one is exercise. I have my set schedule of what I do every single day of the week. And then on Monday, that's what I do. I don't have to do any extra. I don't have to think about tomorrow or the next day or the next day. I don't have to think about things like, okay, I have to exercise for the rest of my life, kind of like brushing my teeth or making dinner. It never stops. You start thinking about the everyday tasks along those lines and you want to quit. But no, exercise is not something I have to do every day. It's something I just do today. And this is what I do today. If it's get 3 miles in on the treadmill, if it's go to a workout class, what is on the docket for Monday? Once I get that off, it's checked off the list. I don't need to think about exercise until tomorrow. So in thinking about that statement, make the regular things regular. Look at your day and look at all of the tasks you want to accomplish within that 24 hours and make sure that the things that you want to be considered regular are put in there regularly. So the 3 regular items I have on my kids' list is I want to do their homeschool for the day, not more than I need, but just what I have on their lists. So they're already established lists. And then 2, I want to read to them. And sometimes that looks like 5 minutes of reading. Sometimes it looks like half an hour, but I don't want to go through the day without having sat down and read something. Even if I'm reading a book myself and I say, hey, listen to this. This is really cool. Or they're reading a book and I say, hey, read me something. Share adventures. Make that a priority. That's what I want to have regular in my life. Number 3, one of the things I endeavor to do with my children is have dialogue. Now, this is challenging because kids don't always want to talk. And so I try to look for those little avenues where I can ask questions or just get them to start talking about something they're learning so we can have some dialogue about it. It's a challenge, but I do not want the day to pass without my kids having connection with me intellectually on something. So to the wide web, remember, no one can mom your kids like you. Let's make the regular things in our life regular. Let's keep our routines habitual so that we don't always feel overburdened and behind. If I keep my routines established throughout the week, then a couple hours of a reboot on a Sunday afternoon or a couple hours of a planning for the week is totally adequate to catch up. If there's any little thing you can take away from this video, just write a few things down that you want to make a regular part of your routines, and then tomorrow morning, get on it. And then the next morning, and the next morning, and make it regular.